Women play fascinating and often overlooked roles in the mythologies of ancient civilizations. Today, we'll explore how female figures shaped the cultural and spiritual landscapes of the Vikings and the Greeks. From goddesses who embodied war and wisdom to mortal women who defied societal expectations, their stories are rich with mystery and influence. Let us begin with the Vikings in the severe, icy north. Viking women were strong and independent, and their mythological counterparts demonstrated this. They were not restricted to domestic chores. Freya, the goddess of magic, war, and love, is among the best known. Freya was controversially placed because of her association with cider, a kind of magic practiced in Norse society during the late Scandinavian Iron Age. Cider is considered to be a form of magic related to both the revealing and shaping of the future. In Viking society, practicing cider was seen as unmanly, but Freya wielded this power without question. Some scholars believe that Freya's mastery of magic, particularly her ability to manipulate fate, positioned her as one of the most important deities, even challenging Odin's authority at times. Odin has many names and is the god of both war and death. Half of the warriors who die in battle are taken to his hall of Valhalla. In Norse mythology, Valhalla is described as a majestic hall located in Asgard and presided over by the god Odin. Half of those who die in combat enter Valhalla, while the other half are chosen by the goddess Freya to reside in Folkvanger. He is the one-eyed All-Father who sacrificed his eye in order to see everything that happens in the world. He has two sons, Balder by his first wife Frigg and Thor by Jord. There's also the intriguing figure of Frigg. She is associated with marriage, prophecy, clairvoyance and motherhood, and dwells in the wetland halls of Fensalir. Frigg is often compared to Hera, who was the goddess of marriage, women and family, and the protector of women during childbirth. In Greek mythology, Hera is queen of the 12 Olympians and Mount Olympus, sister and wife of Zeus, and daughter of the Titans Cronus and Rhea, the Greek queen of the gods. Frigg's role is far more mysterious. She was known for her foresight, but curiously she rarely acted on this knowledge. Why? Was it wisdom or tragedy that kept her silent about the future, even as she predicted the terrible fate of her son Balder? Then there are the Valkyries, warrior women who determined the fate of those who died in battle. Unlike their Greek counterparts, the Valkyries directly influenced the outcome of battles. The fates worked in the shadows, an unstoppable force that even Zeus could not defeat. Their power reminds us that even in a male-dominated hierarchy, the ultimate authority could lie in the hands of women. But what's truly fascinating is how the Valkyries were seen not only as guides of souls, but also as shapeshifters. They could turn into swans, adding to their mystical aura. This shape-shifting ability suggests a deeper, more complex role for women in Viking myth, blending the lines between power and femininity. Now, let's sail south to Greece, where goddesses like Athena and Hera ruled the mythological landscape. Athena, born from the head of Zeus, was the goddess of wisdom, war, and strategy. But unlike Freya, Athena's warlike nature was tempered with rationality. She was a goddess who valued intellect over brute strength. What's particularly interesting is that Athena remained a virgin goddess, distancing herself from the domestic roles expected of women, as though she transcended human limitations of gender. Equally powerful, though in a subtler way, were the Fates, or Moirai. These three sisters controlled the destiny of gods and humans alike by spinning, measuring, and cutting the thread of life. Unlike the Valkyries, who directly influenced the outcome of battles, the Fates worked in the shadows, an unstoppable force that even Zeus could not override. Their power reminds us that even in a male-dominated pantheon, the ultimate authority could lie in the hands of women. As the queens of their respective pantheons, Hera and Frigg are often compared, although this comparison is more complex than it first appears. Zeus's wife Hera was well known for being jealous, especially of Zeus's many extramarital affairs. However, beneath the myths of Hera's wrath is a more profound reality. She was the defender of marriage and the foundation of society. She was at odds with Zeus's chaotic and often disruptive behavior because of this role. In contrast, Frigg didn't show jealousy. despite the fact that Norse mythology provides enough evidence of Odin's relationships with other goddesses. Rather, she is a figure of controlled strength and wisdom, representing a more enigmatic, even stoic force, in contrast to Hera's more direct confrontations. Moving aside from the goddesses, there are many stories of mortal women who disobeyed the roles that were assigned to them in both Greek and Viking mythology. Greek mythology portrays Atalanta as a fierce warrior and huntress who challenges men in the Caledonian boar hunt. Despite being lured into a traditional marriage, her story contradicts the conventional narrative of women in Greek mythology by portraying her as independent and even resentful of it. Women such as Lagertha, the Shield-maiden of legend, showed in Viking sagas that women in Viking society had a level of independence beyond anything that their Greek counterparts could envision. Despite the fact that these stories frequently combine myth and reality, they suggest that women in Viking society might have had greater autonomy than is normally thought. The myths of women in Greek and Viking mythology suggest that despite the male-dominated culture of their civilizations, women, both goddesses and mortals, had an important impact on the destiny of both men and gods. Their endurance, strength, and knowledge are still as fascinating now as they were centuries ago. And that brings us to the end of our journey. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our next adventure into history, mythology, and the mysteries of the past.